It'll be fine. Yo, welcome back to the project. And you actually can see me twice. You can see me up there. I just looked at the camera right now on Twitch, and there's a delay, obviously, between what's recording on the computer, which is where you hear me from the computer right now, but you can also see me in Twitch on the live stream. So I can look over there, and then you'll see me looking at you from that tab, or right, just like that, or I can switch to this one, and this is actually the small in camera, and you can see me on right here. Okay, so I've actually moved this down south, so there's two cameras operational at the same time. Right, here's the mic. Oh, here's the mic. I like looking here. It's there, and then there's the ring light, and the phone's like somewhere here. Recording. Anyways, it's a setup, and what we're trying to do. Okay, let's just get. Okay, what we're trying to do. I have to look here now. Is on the bed, which is actually where the phone is positioned as well, on Twitch. So if I switch over to the browser tab, you can see that there's actually a coverage of it. In the backdrop, you see this Malibu wine, right? So there's two angles. Maybe I should do that right now. There's on the left-hand side panel, aside from the two cameras, there's also some work that I was working on, and I wanted to cover that a little bit. That's why it's still showing. So if I place it down now, though, I can safely say that we'll get to that later. Okay, what we want to do first and foremost is just run over what we're going to try to do in the next, maybe, I don't know, hopefully 15 minutes tops. 15. We don't want to spend too much time on this. We have this Malibu mango made with Caribbean rum and mango flavored Malibu wine. Not wine, rum. Okay, so like coconut rum. And I bought this as a bit of a gift for my buddy and his wife and his in-law, so brother-in-law. Again, no names mentioned, privacy, confidentiality, all that crap. And largely, it's because I kind of fell off with his wife, and with time, kind of all wounds sort of heal. But I would say that my intention was to originally part ways, and that's because I don't believe it's a very beneficial thing to force a relationship that clearly has too many signs of differing opinions, differing ways of life, differing behaviors. Really, I think we just can't stand each other, depending on just certain habits. But we really both tried to make it work, because obviously that's her husband, and he's my best friend, or one of my best friends. In fact, not really so much as a friend, but more like a brother from another mother kind of thing. So he's actually really close because we try to support each other in ways that a dysfunctional family never provides. So we're close like brothers, in a way. Anyways, the point is, we fell off, but we tried to remain respectful, and we tried our best to make it work out. And I decided to leave, right? This is something that I decided, if it's not going to work out, let's not try to make it work any further, because it's just going to cause too much drama. And eventually, that kind of relationship leads to perceived abuse and harassment from both sides. It's not a positive relationship, and the best thing we can do is, wait for the future, and see what that beholds. Maybe a year or two down the road, when we both have grown a little bit and become, maybe more open-minded, or maybe more mature, or have stronger boundaries, we'll be able to come back and restart some sort of friendship. But for now, it's not going to work out, and it may never work out. And I decided, it's good to have distance. It's great to be able to just say, it might not be forever, but maybe a couple years down the road, or if you can actually remedy yourself and improve yourself within a couple of months, you can come back together and there won't be an issue. But my plan was just to say, this might never work out. I'm not going to make any expectations, right? Expectations usually lead to disappointment. And I ended that relationship, and she made one last call to try to reach out to me. And I really appreciated her initiative, because that's something that she doesn't do that often, not through any fault of her own necessarily, but because I know she's been through a lot, in terms of her backstory, in terms of her own home country, as well as here in the relationships she's had. Her patience has been running thin, right? I know what that's like. I understand that completely, because I've been angry in my past. I've been quite bitter at certain stages of my life before, and I know what it's like to be constantly tested and feel like you're being betrayed, or and actually you are betrayed. So I imagine she's been through very similar things, right? So I'm not trying to judge her, I'm trying to understand. And she reached out, and I said I had enough, though. I don't want to be a part of this. My problems are my problems to fix, right? That's my responsibility. Just like your problems are your problems to fix, that's your responsibility. If we can't make it work, don't make it work. But she kept trying to reach out one last time, and I really appreciate that, because that was a change in character for her. And she was going out her way. I wanted to buy this, long story short, as a little bit of a gift for her and her brother-in-law, who we don't really have any sort of much of a relationship there either, between me and her and her brother. But at least that one is sort of like we both mutually agreed at the forefront that we wouldn't get along. So there wasn't any sort of back and forth. I don't know. We just agreed. Maybe it's just a guy thing, right? We just knew that this isn't going to work out. We're not going to try and make it work. But between me and her, we tried to make it work, and it didn't work. So go figure, right? And then I called it off, and I feel kind of bad. I felt kind of bad, and I said, it's going to be the Korean New Year, and I decided to go ahead to LCBO and buy. If you know what that is, you kind of get an idea about my geographic region. But I went to LCBO to buy a MALIBU coconut rum. Well, this is not coconut, but it's mango. And it's something that is a little bit personal of a gift, because we actually talked about this once. She asked me a question once, what do you like when it comes to drinking? And like all four of us in the car. And we exchanged a conversation. So this was part of that conversation. So I did want to get something that was a little bit reminiscent of what used to be. And so we're going to try to wrap this up on stream. And also it's recording right now on the laptop, a sort of behind the scenes video, a bit of a vlog. We have this Christmas wrap right here, gift wrap. It's quite long. It's got this Santa Claus with the Christmas wreath and Christmas tree. Pretty cheap stuff, but it's just gift wrap. Hold on, that's really, really loud. It's like guns music in the backdrop. And then here's the bag. I guess I don't really need to use this. I might wrap it and then put the wrapped Malibu rum inside this bag, or I might just crumple this up, this bag, and then use it as a way to stuff this. So what is this? This is I'm going to show it to both cameras here. One here for the phone on Twitch, and one here on the side for the camera, the Smalling camera. But basically it's a whiskey. It says quality absolutely guaranteed, whiskey extra special, thick bottom whiskey glass. And this one's actually for her brother, because he's got quite a tooth for alcohol, right? He likes this kind of stuff, and I just figured this would be a good gift. He has a shot glass himself. It seems like to me he's the kind of person who likes heavy drinks, so maybe this wouldn't be quite a good fit for him. It's only 21%. It's nothing heavy. He's probably more into like 30%, Bacardi rum, Johnny Walker. But this is actually more for his sister, right? So it's like, this is for the two of them. And that glass is for him specifically, the whiskey glass. yeah, so we're gonna try wrap it. So my point was basically we could take this LCBO bag, we could crumple it up just like the stuffing paper and use this stuff inside. It's just an idea, and then we can wrap this with the Christmas gift wrap and see if that works out. So we have scissors and tape, and we're just gonna continue and try to do that right now. So I recognize that I am also in a bit of a rush for certain other things. So before we start the gift wrap, I did mention that there was a few things I want to get done ahead of time. I want to mention ahead of time and then do later on stream if we have a chance. The first thing is okay, so here's my phone, one of my several phones, and this phone here inside is an app, right? Like think of like Viber, think of like Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat. Schultz used to say, Schultz said his infamous special was your third world group chats. Get that the fuck out of here. So anyways, this is really important, but I have to get back to my small business partner. Well, it's not really small business, quite large. It's 30-year history, and it specializes in research and development, plus manufacture, distribution, and sales of its own research products, basically in nutrition. Okay, it's in somewhat like biomedical science. I would say it's more along the lines of senescence and overall optimizing health and wellness. So it's one of those companies that really has a heavy research and development team focused, I believe, in Utah, Texas, and it's a multinational company. And I will say that I have not been in touch with my team lead in quite some time, my partner, because I've just had such a bad couple weeks here. I really collapsed under the strain of the domestic and residential abuse, which I've touched on that a few times on the very first few videos that I made a couple weeks ago. But aside from that, we're just going to move away from that topic. The point is, I really need to get back to my partner. I feel really awful. He's been on a great trip to, I believe it was somewhere in like Hawaii, the Caribbean, and I'm not going to say specifically where. I do know where he went. I don't want to say it, right? Again, privacy, confidentiality. I want to get back to him. So I was thinking of actually texting him and just sending it before, because right now it's like 6 a.m, and very soon everyone's going to wake up. Right, this is like a little bit late. I was going to text him probably around like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, just to leave it there and settle. But I guess I can't really do that now. It's just like I had so much work to do even before this. So I'm going to showcase the second thing that I need to show. So the point is, once we're done wrapping the wine and taping it and maybe deciding what we're going to do with the LCBO bag, we may, and the whiskey glass, right? We might stuff it up, we might not. We're going to text and message and get in touch with our business partner. Very important, because he also has my products that I purchased, and he's been doing me a big favor and picking them up. So I definitely want to take those off his hands so that he doesn't have all this inventory blocked up in his personal space. It's not like he has a warehouse, right? So there's another thing there. So second thing right here we have is the spreadsheet. So now we're looking at something on the screen. It's not so important on the camera. What's here is on the left-hand side panel, which, by the way, if you guys are on Twitch, you can't see this, unfortunately, which is fine. There's actually no viewers right now, I don't believe. But if you're watching as a VOD, a video on demand, you're doing a playback, you won't see the spreadsheet. You only see it in the YouTube upload. But basically, I have on the left-hand side panel, for those of you who are watching on a video, if you are in the future, thoughts, feelings, opinions. How did you all find this episode? Share in comments. So, emotions, memes, ratings, timestamps, favorite scenes. So what is all this? This is basically the new entry to my Patreon edit. So it's like, and it's one of very many edits, many descriptions, bios, and video descriptions and bios and live stream descriptions that I had to really edit and polish because of the recent changes to the project, right? This is not even the Honorable project anymore. This is just the projects. Like, what is the projects? It's this conglomerate derivative. It's a next stage transcendence and evolution of the Honorable project. It's still, I guess, the animal project by virtue of the continuous nature of my goals and objectives, right? But at the end of the day, it's still different, right? Because it's gone through so many different versions of change that the identity that it sort of had at the beginning of being this self-therapeutic multimedia project, it's no longer really there. So basically, I had to do all these different. Uh, I had to change all the links. I had to change the description. I had to change the 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 explanation of what we do. Even the activities that we engage in on stream are totally different. We actually have videos to upload now. We didn't use to upload videos, or we did. It's like the first few, and then we stopped because there's no plan for that. The content's different. We have music now. We have editing now. It's a totally different ball game altogether. So there was a lot of time spent there. We visited like at least 15 to 20 different social media sites. Not well, it's not even social media. Like think Web 2.0. A lot of the community sites that I created and to explore different hobbies and niches at the time. I was very fortunate. I think in that particular respect. I know that there are many other aspects where I was not so fortunate, and in fact, kind of, you know, was disadvantaged. But everyone has their own disadvantages, and everyone has their own advantages. And I can safely say that one of the advantages I have being in this generation, so this is a generational advantage in terms of technology, is that I was able to experience things like DeviantArt, things like RuneScape, like basically online communities in gaming, arts, music, so on and so forth. And actually, I was a late bloomer. I didn't get these things early on in life, so I started to explore it when I was like in my 20s. And by then, everyone's already familiar, and I felt so far behind. But even so, compare that to the previous generations, I'm still very fortunate. It doesn't matter that I'm a late bloomer for my generation. The fact is, when it comes to all the previous generations, I'm very lucky, right? I'm very lucky. And so I have all these different accounts in like I said, think of like Vine, think of like Instagram, think of like DeviantArt, think of things even that are slightly business related platforms in e-commerce that I created that I want to experiment with at the time, and I dropped because a lot of these things, right? Unlike other people, not only was I a late bloomer, but I didn't actually use it. I was kind of contrarian. It's probably kind of stupid. Honestly, I should have taken advantage of them, but there were some benefits to not engaging in social media as much as my friends did, which is that even though I was kind of like a hermit, like I didn't really know social media as well as they did, the fact is I also maintained to a degree a sense of minimalistic peace of mind. There was a long state for most of my life until very recently. I had been able to maintain some sense of calm and tranquility, and then things went to shit afterwards. So there was also a drawback to that, right? Because that also meant that I was unprepared to manage when things got overwhelming in life, which they oftentimes or eventually they will. That's something that was actually beneficial for my friends because they had been through all the social media and learned all these platforms and had to manage all the chaos and drama and the attention, instant gratification, and all that, dopamine nonsense. They got used to it. They learned how to manage and control themselves. And for me, it was new. So then I succumbed to it very late on in my life when I actually had to, no choice, start using these social media tools I didn't know how to manage. So advantages, disadvantages, benefits, and drawbacks, pros and cons. Long story short, that's what I was working on for like 3 hours, 3 fucking hours, if not more. Getting all the descriptions, syncing up on Twitch, Instagram, Patreon. It's like 15 different platforms. So that was the second thing that sort of happened. So this part though, it's done over with. We just need to talk about it, just need to mention it. But getting back to my business partner in cellular nutrition and senescence and the collaboration between Eastern and Western medicine, nutritional sciences actually, for that side business, that's something I had to do after we wrap up the alcohol. So without further ado, I've been done talking way too much, which is fine. Okay, this is just like a vlog kind of thing. I don't imagine anyone's gonna watch this kind of stuff later down the road, but if they do, kudos. Thanks for joining in. Now, it's time. Let's start wrapping up the MALIBU RUM. So I just switched over on the computer. The camera's now, yes, the camera's now back over the spreadsheet, and we're going to go ahead and try to wrap. You can see only very vaguely on the live stream, but that's normal. Most of the time on the live stream you can't see very much anyways. I'll be honest. So here's the wrapping paper. I'm going to try to move my head out of the way so that you can actually see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to try to shift the chair back a little bit. Okay. And we have the MALIBU RUM. So it looks like it's like about 8 centimeters to 10 centimeters in width. Well, that's a bad estimate. It's more like 8 centimeters. I'm just gonna wrap it around. You've got a pair of scissors here. Okay. It's all torn up and everything. I know it's not the best way to show someone that you care, but it's really just wrapping paper, so I'm sure that they won't mind. It's not a big deal, man. Okay, so let's do a quick cut. I'm trying not to tear it. And this is, by the way, this is quite expensive, right? This cost $30, right? I mean, I guess it's not that much when you, like, I think most of you guys, if you ever watch this, will be from the States. So it's like, in the States, well, no, I think you guys, if you go to the States and US, it'll probably be cheaper. And then things are really expensive probably in Europe, right? So if you guys are from Europe, but I don't know. And I'm sorry, I could say things like in Australia and Russia and China and Japan, but at the end of the day, I don't know how the prices are for things like alcohol in those other countries on the east side, because I just don't have much experience going there in a very long time. So that's why I didn't mention it. All right, so let's take this one and just kind of wrap it around. Okay. There's some tears in it, but it's not a big deal. In fact, what's bothering me more is that my voice is so raspy. So just take it and wrap it around. Should probably be more careful. Get a good feel for how much paper we need. And then we'll just cut. Okay. All the way across. Okay. Nice. So a good cut. And like I said, there's a tear, but it's not a big deal. It's always awkward wrapping bottles. Right, so wrap bottles anyways. You know what? How many do it sideways? Okay, there we go. That was far better. But now we have to find a way to wrap it up. From the inside. Probably not the best, honestly. Okay, just gonna scrunch it up and do a little bend. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, so now we have to tape it before it starts to tear. And oh god, you can't really see this, huh? Shit. Hold on, let me move the USB, the little cam here all the way down, so that you actually can see it. So it's like all wrapped up now. Beautiful. And you can't see this in the camera, huh? Oh, you can't see in the live stream either. Fuck. Okay, take that piece of crap right there. Just kind of stick, I don't know, there's some trash here now. It's like little pieces of trash. What I'm gonna do, oh, we can make use of that. Just gonna stick it here. Yeah, stay together. It's not gonna work. Come on. Okay. So this is probably not the best tape to use, let's be honest. Transparent tape. It's like 1 centimeter wide. The wrapping job is pretty bad as well, so some tear and everything. It's pretty awful. Ugh. But I remain committed, so we will get this done. We will get this done, so whether we like it or not. And we're going to do our best to make it look as nice as we possibly can, even if it looks like trash. Right, as nice as we can. And I do have to keep mindful of the time, because like I said, I gotta get back to my business partner. I recognize, however, that I'm a little bit lucky. I saw on the app, like Viber or whatever, that my business partner went to sleep at like 1 a.m. Well, he didn't go to sleep at 1 a.m. I can't confirm that. I can say that he checked his app, his messaging app at like 1 a.m. So if he did that at 1 and now it's 6, I highly doubt that he's going to be awake at least until like 2 more hours. Unless he gets only like 5 hours of sleep, right? So I'm on the safe side a little bit, lucking out, but I can't allow myself to let my guard down, right? Especially everything he's done for me. I definitely want to get back to him as soon as possible. Don't want to play any games. Okay. Appreciate his company. I appreciate his concern. He was worried about me. He sent me some messages actually saying that he didn't know if I needed any help or anything because I hadn't been responding to his messages for like a month and a half, right? And you know, at that point you don't know whether or not it's because someone's ghosting you deliberately or they are in a crisis situation, so you're concerned. And he left me a really heartfelt message saying, you know, if you need any help, feel free to let me know. You know, I haven't heard of you. There is a little bit of concern. And he's overall a very caring person, my partner. He's, like I said, we both do research in, or well, he does definitely a lot more professional research. He's actually a clinician. He does research in 3 areas, in fact. Well, not research, but he's qualified in 3 areas of medicine. So one is Western medicine, another is traditional Chinese medicine, and so think of more like naturopathy, and using herbal medicines and so on and so forth. And then there's also nutrition and dietetics, which is also something he's good at now, thanks to this company of ours. So there's a lot that he's good at, and I'm very grateful to know someone of his expertise and caliber. But it's not just his expertise; it's also his character. Let's abbreviate him. I'm pretty tired of calling him my friend or my partner or business partner. Let's say J. Okay, J. His initial, his first name initial. So starts with the letter J. So Jay's a great person, just by character. We met like 5 to 8 years ago. I'm gonna give a range again for our privacy reasons. And he was always a fantastic person. I'm not just talking about him treating you out or anything material like that, right? To have a coffee with, but just the way he presents himself, the way he cares for his patients, the way he cares for his clients. And he's also a very competent person, clearly. So someone who talks the talk and walks the walk, right? So I have a lot of faith and trust in this man. And I've learned a lot from him. I have. And I'm very fortunate to say that I'm in his company. Especially for someone, and I've mentioned this before, right? I'm not coming from a vantage point of a particularly good upbringing. So when it comes to relationships that are positive and healthy, I've been quite severely lacking for the first part of my life, actually for most of my life. So at least when it comes to the closer relationships that I cannot escape, friendships are rather shallow, but they have been relatively positive. But unfortunately, when it comes to things that are deeper than that, the moment you get into like domestic affairs, it's never been good. So I am because of that experience, the positive side is that I'm really, really grateful to have a positive relationship with someone who is actually very healthy, very supportive, very caring, and also very competent, very responsible. He's hardworking and diligent. These are all values that I try to mimic myself, things that I try to work on and try to emulate. And wherever I'm weak in these particular areas, I try my best to improve. And I like to look for people who are like that, who are like-minded, and try to strive to be the best that we can be for ourselves and for the people we care. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I just started talking about him for about these past 10 minutes because he's genuinely a good person. And right now, honestly, I'm sitting here putting tape on this gift wrap, and it looks pretty horrendous. I just figured that it would be nice to have something to talk about. And he came to my mind, definitely, for sure. Okay, so that's about it. I think that's about as much tape as we can put on without it making it look too horrific. It's already looking like a bit of a zombie. But we can't put too much tape. It's gonna look really bad afterwards. Let's see, where does it need patching? So the next step is, since we didn't use the gift wrap to wrap the MALIBU RUM bottle or glass in a horizontal fashion, in a vertical fashion, we used it horizontally. I have to cover the bottom now. Hold on, give me about 5 seconds and I'll show you what I mean. So the bottom here, first in the reaction, the vlog, you can see on the USB cameras it's all empty here, and I'll show on stream here. You can see the bottom of the glass is unwrapped, but the rest of the glass is wrapped. So the rest is fine, but the bottom is not. So we're gonna have to cover that up. Okay, and I do have to be careful when I'm doing this. I can't let this drop on the floor. It'll shatter to pieces, and then there will be broken glass and wine, which is flammable, by the way, right? So it's like, this is something that I don't want to mess around with. I don't want to lose grip of. Okay, let's grab some more tape out here. I see some creases. I want to get rid of the creases. Okay. Creases. Get rid of the creases. Okay, that done. Wrap that up. Nice. Okay, finish that off. Good stuff. There's only like another little portion here that I gotta wrap up. Maybe 2 pieces. Okay, fine, 3. Maybe 3 pieces. Best wrapping job. Okay. She'll be back for a while. Sorry, I'm kind of running out of things to say here, but you can just kind of watch, right? It'll be good enough. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's see, cover that. Pull it in this way. Nice. Because we do have to wrap up the head. We can't just leave the head like that. Yeah, you can't just leave the head like that. Okay. Nice. Well, it's not nice, but it's the best that we can do. Fucking thing here. Holy brother. That's me taking a big ass fart right there. Yo, we should play one of these blurps here. Just to give it spice. Emotional death!
Oh, no, 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 no.
You can't hear it though, unless you're on the stream. So this is one of those where the YouTube uploads can't hear it, but the live stream can. It's a little different. Usually it's the live stream attendees who can't hear. Oh shit. We're using so much tape. It's crazy. But the cap has to be sealed, so we'll use as much tape as we need to. Honestly, I'm starting to think that I might as well have just left the cap untouched from the very beginning and it would have looked better. This taping job looks horrendous. I just find myself piling on tape after tape after tape. It's like never enough tape. Piece after piece after piece. It's like, when will you stop? It's like, can you stop? Ugh. It's like trying to get paper mache. You gotta get all the cracks and creases, otherwise it starts to fall apart. But every time you lay down another layer of tape, it gets even more creases. So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Alright, so once we're done this, we'll have at least one of the gifts down. Okay. So it's time for the bottom now. So here's the top. Looks pretty bad, looks awful, but well, it's actually alright. But in my opinion, it looks kind of trash. But it's better than not getting any gift at all. So or getting it and just leaving it as is. I want to leave it as a surprise, you know. We don't really want them to see. We want to keep them guessing a little bit when they see it. So what kind of wine? What kind of rum? What kind of gin or whiskey? Maybe it's vodka. Whatever we want them to. We want to keep them guessing. Okay. Just gonna stuff this in. Should be good enough. So it's a separate piece of paper. Just stuffed in. Just a piece of paper. Stream. Stuff it in. And then we're going to close it just like that with the rim. Bottle the rim. And to do that, we'll take the scissors and we're just going to cut across the rim all the way across so that it kind of closes inwards. Just cut across the rim, right, in all directions, and let it close in. So that the paper folds properly. That's kind of what we want. Nice circular direction all the way through. Too much gas. Okay. So now comes the frustrating part again. I'm going to be taping. Taping this all down. Yo, this is gonna take like an hour. It's way too long. So much for getting back to my partner at 6. It's hard because you gotta make these like diagonal. You gotta tape it diagonally. It's like, I'm sorry guys, you can't see this on stream for sure. I gotta tilt it all the way down, and there's no way I'm gonna do that.